Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Stolen vehicle of slain veteran journalist found. Financial analyst predicts economic downturn this Christmas. And later in sports, West Indies lose T20 series against Bangladesh in the second match. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. We begin this afternoon with a TVJ News follow-up. The police have recovered the stolen vehicle of slain veteran journalist Barbara Gale. Police have cordoned off a section of Dyke Road in the vicinity of Aki Village and Gregory Park in Portmore, St. Catherine. Our reporter Jamaica Maitland is in the area and filed this report.
Police have found the vehicle belonging to veteran journalist Barbara Gale along a section of the Dyke Road in Portmore, St. Catherine. This was the closest I was able to go before the investigators put up these crime scene tapes. Now, the vehicle, dark grey SUV Benz, was found in bushes. The area where the vehicle was found, though, is actually like a known path to motorists. However, if you're not aware of the area, then you wouldn't be able to see the vehicle driving past. As to how the police investigators knew that the vehicle was there, we aren't able to say right now, but what a police source did tell us was that there was blood found in the vehicle. The luxury car was stolen from Miss Gale's home at the Caymanas Estate Country Club, where her body was found on Tuesday. We weren't able to speak with any of the senior police investigators and other senior officials who are not on the scene right now, but we do plan to get some update later on for primetime news. Reporting from Dyke Road, I'm Jamaica Maitland for TVJ News.
Thank you, Jamila. To other news now, financial analyst Dennis Chung has weighed in on the current state of the economy. This is in light of the latest forecast by the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ. Mr. Chung was speaking on Power 106's Morning Agenda Wednesday. Talks of a recession are starting to take place after declines in the Jamaican economy. First in the quarter ending in September, and now the Planning Institute of Jamaica is forecasting a decline by 0 to 1.5% during the December quarter. Financial analyst Dennis Strong says he's observed mixed signals.
If inflation around this time coming up to now is a little down, then it means that we might not be seeing the amount of robust spending that we normally see leading up to the holiday. But I did expect it to come down. On the other hand, though, the persons that do the automated telemachine system, multi-link, they said that the amount of money that's in circulation from their perspective is up about 13%. So there are some mixed signals there.
Mr. Chung says the economy is not as vibrant as it normally would be during this time of the year.
It is going to be a tempered holiday season, I think. I think leading up to next week, you might see an increase in expenditure happening. But seeing that some of the money from the road repairs is actually coming out there in terms of the reach, hopefully we can start some spending also towards the end of the year from the program, even more spending.
But he's hoping that things will improve closer to the holidays.
You know, one of the things I always use when you go on the plazas and see that there's still a lot of people there, you don't see a lot of sale going on. It means that things might not be so bad. So I'm hoping that the decline PIOJ has projected is more closer to the 0% range. Last quarter we had a 2.8% decline, which is pretty significant because of the burial impact. I think that you're going to see that come down significantly. So I'm hoping closer to the 0% range.
Agriculture Minister Floyd Green is assuring Jamaicans that adequate table egg supply is in the country. Mr. Green says a strategic plan is being developed to ensure everyone has access to the product during the festive season.
Interventions that we're making. So what we're trying to do is to ensure that our bakeries don't have to depend on the regular table egg supply to do their uptick in Christmas baking, and we're giving them access to liquid eggs. And I think once we do that, it will lessen the demand on the table egg supply, so that more of our consumers who go to retail, wholesale, they'll be able to get eggs. So you should be seeing eggs in sufficient supply throughout the Christmas period.
He also acknowledged the challenges facing the industry at this time.
To be honest, we have done very, very good in eggs over the years. In fact, last year we were talking about the oversupply of eggs because we have surpassed our production targets. This year it's really weather events. If you listen to the egg farmers, again, after every sort of weather event, the birds take some time to come back to their regular production numbers. It has taken a longer time this time because after Maryland they were coming back, then we had significant bouts of rainfall which has impacted them. So this year is an anomaly. I'm very certain that by next year we'll be back to our full production numbers. There'll be no tightness that we see now in the market. We won't have to take any other interventions to ensure that there's supply. But this year we do recognize that there is a tightness and we're making the interventions to ensure that eggs are available.
The 4 men charged in the Spalding shooting incident with police are set to appear in the gun court tomorrow. They face charges including possession of prohibited weapons, shooting with intent, and wounding with intent. They have been identified as 26-year-old Andre Shimiu, otherwise called 3D or Brown Man, 28-year-old Tony Kelly, otherwise called Scooby or Poochie, 28-year-old Romain Dockery, otherwise called Fongo, and 29-year-old Siobhan Carnegie, all of Clarendon addresses. Fresh concern about the ongoing pileup of garbage in some towns and communities across the country. It was of the view that the situation would be fixed following the handover of more than 100 garbage and dump trucks to the NSWMA to help collect solid waste. President of the Association of Local Governmental Authorities of Jamaica, Winston Marad, says members are frustrated. He says the group has written to the NSWMA to adjust its operations.
To the NSWMA, asking them to begin a new shift, to start a shift system with the drivers of the garbage trucks. So it's just, instead of having the trucks just collecting garbage between a 8-hour period during the day, that they would put on another shift, an evening shift, so we could collect garbage at nights as well. So if we have another set of drivers driving these trucks, of course I know they are concerned about the drivers driving the trucks and damaging them, but that is something that they will have to work out themselves. But we are recommending that NSWMA employ another set of drivers to do a night shift collection of garbage in order to clear the backlog.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Mayor of Maypen, Joel Williams, says taxi operators in Clarendon will be assigned 2 taxi stands. The facilities will be available early next year. This is expected to help ease traffic congestion in the capital.
We have coming on stream 2 main taxi locations, yes, taxi park. And I'm hoping we have the one way to come on stream, God's willing, next year. And I'm hoping that when all those initiative comes together, you will see a better space in the town of Maypen, less traffic, less congestion, and people are able to move much freely.
In the meantime, the mayor says vendors will have a much longer Christmas selling period in Maypen this year. The period has been extended to 6 weeks compared to just 3 weeks last year. The period started last week and will go into the 2nd week of January 2025. During the period, vending will be allowed along select sidewalks and streets. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett is urging visitors to Jamaica to complete the online immigration and customs declaration form, also known as the C5 form, before arrival. This simple step will help streamline the processing experience and make their entry into the island more efficient. Jamaica is expecting a record-breaking winter tourist season with over 1 million stopover visitors anticipated. Further afield, two Japanese automaking titans are in talks about a possible merger. Honda and Nissan said in a statement they have been in discussions, but they offered no details or time frame for when a deal, if any, may be reached. In March, Honda and Nissan announced that they would partner on electric vehicles. Months later in August, the automakers said they would collaborate on battery technology. Both companies have struggled this year. Nissan's operating income between March and September fell 90% from the same period last year. Meanwhile, Honda, which is roughly 5 times the size of Nissan, has also faced challenges. Honda plans to sell only zero-emission vehicles in major markets by 2040. However, a combination of low gas prices, insufficient charging infrastructure, and increased competition have lessened demand for EVs in the United States and Europe. And that's the Business Minute. I'm Sandy Williams.
And now a preview of the health report. In this evening's health report, we look at deep vein thrombosis.
The treatment is really a blood thinner. So the treatment is quite simple. The issue is really in picking up the problem, especially because I said some persons do not present with symptoms or overt symptoms. So once the diagnosis is made, the treatment is really medication to thin the blood or dissolve the clot, try to dissolve the clot. And there are a number of drugs available to do that.
That's the health report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's healthy living tip. Sit comfortably. Don't cross your legs while sitting. Quit smoking. Smoking increases your risk of DVT. Maintain a healthy weight. Obesity can increase your risk of DVT. And exercise regularly. Regular physical activity can help lower your risk of blood clots. And time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the Guyana government, in collaboration with Harvard University, is launching a project to eliminate malaria in sections of that country by 2025. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony emphasized the shift from controlling malaria to eliminating it, with a team from Harvard set to visit in January. The plan will employ modern scientific methods, and the government is confident in its success. On the international scene, a 29-year-old Uzbek citizen has been arrested for allegedly planting a bomb that killed Russian Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov and his assistant. The bomb, placed on an electronic scooter outside Kirillov's apartment near the Kremlin, was remotely detonated. Kirillov, head of Russia's Radiological, Biological and Chemical Protection Forces, was killed the day after Ukraine convicted him in absentia for using banned chemical weapons. The Russian Investigative Committee claims the Uzbek suspect was recruited by Ukraine's security service, who instructed him to plant the bomb. The suspect was paid $100,000 and promised European residence for his role. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Prince Moore.
Thank you, Prince. We take another break. Sports is next.